we are now talking about Brimble and Clark. That's the name of the company. We're locked in. We're all operating up to and including tier 1 for the rest of this.
Brimble and Clark is absolutely the name of a bar that I've been to and had just the worst variation on a martini I've ever had in my life, I think.
Oh, to me, Brimble and Clark is a bar where the front door that goes out onto the street is like a bookshelf.
Brimble and Clark is a restaurant that serves ox tongue, but not in the way that you might be familiar with.
They do things a little differently at Brimble.
Brimble and Clark they do things differently.
They do actually do this. We're going to start with a little bit of a description of the company, and then we're going to talk about the article. The company, Brimble and Clark, I'm addicted to saying the name. Hey, you out there listening, say it yourself. Pretty fun.
Straight up brimbling my shit. Yeah. And if you're thinking, is it addressed anywhere in the article? And is it going to be addressed anywhere in the episode? Why it's named Brimble and Clark? The answer is no.
I have looked it up. I have tried to find out why it's called this. It is DC's finest bespoke suits and custom menswear. Now, why is TF talking about DC's finest bespoke suits and custom menswear? Thank you for asking. This is some of their About Us page before we go on to the article. At Brimble and Clark, we make the lightest weight business clothes that exist with the greatest range of movement, custom made for you. Our brand has successfully crafted apparel for 67 athletes in the major leagues, and as well as Diplo and DJ Snake.
Yeah, because of course Diplo has to be like super, super active, right?
Yeah. In his suits as well. In addition to our achievements in fashion, we provided image consulting services to influential figures such as the U.S. Secretary of Defense, as well as CTOs and CEOs of the most powerful defense corporations on the planet, including Raytheon and Lockheed Martin.
Finally found out where Hegseth gets those fuck-ass American flag pocket squares.
Oh, yeah, like they did a whole... I've been going through their instead of sleeping, I've been going through their Instagram. They love to dress a UFC fighter in American flag lined suits and then like have him like get kicked in the head while wearing the Brimble and Clark suit and be like, it's for combat.
Have they dressed Conor McGregor? Do we know that? Conor McGregor also a tight suited, an enjoyer of a sort of like very tight suit.
So where are we going with this? The next paragraph will tell you. Brimble and Clark's expertise lies in teaching individuals how to use clothing as a form of costuming to achieve strategic objectives.
Yes, I'm always doing this. Every day of my life, I lock in. I am in the area of operations, and my objective is, the survivability onion?
Mm-hmm.
Don't get seen, don't get hit, don't get penetrated. That's the kind of tactical thinking. That's the kind of OODA loop I'm working with when I decide to wear a skirt so people aren't going to yell at me if I use the women's bathroom. And that is, I guarantee you, a higher order of tactical thinking than 90% of the guys buying these suits.
Oh, we're going to learn about who buys these suits because SimCon applies this unique playbook to assist clients under the U.S. Special Forces and SOCOM in mastering civilian attire for their next job interview.
That's so fun. It's to be like, yeah, I did war crimes for 20 years. Now I have to master civilian attire because for some reason I want to get like a real job instead of any of the post-Special Forces jobs where you like hand make knives or whatever. Mm-hmm. No, I have to work in the corporate world. And I need someone to explain to me what this thing called a button is.
I guess partly also it's because like those guys that hand make knives or do Black Rifle Coffee Company or whatever, like these Instagram chud brands, like Hegseth is probably interested in getting those procured. Like Black Rifle Coffee Company is going to be doing like all of the freeze-dried coffee for like aircraft carriers.
Also, it implies that you're so Special Forces that you don't ever wear the like service uniform. You don't have to wear the uniform that's like a suit. So you're just like you're in camouflage gear all the fucking time, right? You've grown the beard out to Duck Dynasty levels, and you're just like, I've actually had so much like traumatic damage to my eardrums that I forgot how to dress myself in anything other than multicam.
Yeah, I've essentially been reverse raised, and now I've been re-raised by wolves.
When they say the army like breaks you down and then builds you back up, that turns out as a prank, sometimes they forget to do the second part, and now one tailor has to teach you how to tie your shoelaces again.
We teach men with tools to choose to choose and how to cut them to engineer specific reactions from the people our clients interact with to help achieve their objectives. It's like you can tactically interdict any conversational partner to
Explaining the concept of like making a good first impression based on how you dress to a guy who has only thought about shooting people.
We use our playbook, honed over more than a decade of advising the most powerful men on earth, to assist our clients, men and women like you, first mention of women in the article. To thank a community that has allowed us to serve them for so many years, we also teach men under SEAL teams.
I just really think about Sim Khan, right? The guy who designs these suits, taking a gigantic Reacher-looking dude, pointing him in the mirror and teaching him how to tie a tie by going, so you assault through the ambush and then around the ambush
and then you kick the door in.
Yeah.
So to thank a community that's allowed us to serve them for so many years, we also teach men under SEAL teams and the Green Berets transitioning into the workforce how to, and this is why I included the About Us thing before you go into the article, incorporate rank indicators in civilian attire to immediately signal the respect they deserve at their next job.
Yeah,
reviews.
I'm doing this shit all the time, but nobody's saluting me. I don't know what the fuck is up. Like I've got my like captain's pips on the rank on the shoulders of every t-shirt, but mostly it just seems to fray my t-shirts and nobody respects me.
And so this is Brimble and Clark. Now, I didn't want you to see that beforehand. I'm just going to...
No, that was magical.
I'm going to send you a little
I really
document.
need to know how they're incorporating the rank insignia. Like, are we sort of twin lapel pins? Is that what we're doing? Are we like sewing chevrons to the sleeves of a suit?
Okay. Here's call to action. Are you a listener in DC or Northern Virginia? Can you please? Or are you around like, suited chuds who have to go and sell their homemade knives to the Pentagon now? Please look out for someone with rank insignias on their jacket. Now, November Hussein, please scroll down until you get to the second image.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. This is a beautiful little tableau we're looking at here. This is the header. This is the header of their website for the military division, which announces custom garments engineered for ballistic movement. Now, I'm not sure what ballistic movement is. Maybe they mean movement when you're shooting at people. And we've got a bunch of guys in like regular multicam. We've got one guy wearing a kind of like fleece-trimmed aviator leather jacket and driving gloves, reloading an M4. We've got a guy in an aggressively pinstriped double-breasted suit with a pistol. And then a guy in a contrast lapel... Oh, God, that's horrible. A contrast lapel tuxedo.
Holding what I could assume is that an AR-15?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. Holding an AR-15. All of these guys look as though... Like, these are guys that I think are getting killed by John Wick.
Yeah, I believe so. Or I think what they're aiming to be is the guy who John Wick leaves alive because he respects him.
Because like sort of their suits are too good. Yeah.
Yeah, the John Wick mini boss.
The other thing about them is that they're all very tight.
This is true. For a long time,
suits.
this is an actual sea change, right? For a long time, we joked about the traditional USian huge suit on Kill James Bond. That was also true of this kind of genre of like, you have to wear a suit to work and your work is chud. Like the Secret Service or whatever was for a long time metonymically like Sears suits with a really kind of baggy cut in the sort of like, waist to accommodate like a pistol. Well, in this case, no, we're changing. And now everyone has to dress like Andrew Tate. Everyone has to dress like a UFC fighter. And that means tight everywhere.
I have a concept for an advertisement for this company. It's very much inspired by James Bond, or sort of the sort of spy aesthetic, and the kind of like the Bond girl in the situation goes up to one of these guys and looks up and down at him and says, "Is that like a phone in your pocket, or are you just glad to see me?" And then he pulls out a gun, and that's it. That's the advertisement.
Get off your damn phone.
Because the thing is, it's not even really James Bond anymore because, like, most recently, Daniel Craig's suits as James Bond, they were, they were all wide shoulders. They were a little bit slim. Next to these guys who like they look like they've been painted on.
This is quite an interesting point because I was thinking about this in like a different context, but it's very much like there's a certain kind of like, I think sort of older millennial man kind of got their style in slim cut, tighter fitting clothes and hasn't really been able to transition to like sort of looser, baggier wear in sort of menswear space.
And that's real. That's 100% real. The way out of this is, as you say, to transition. I can still wear the skinny jeans. It's fine when I do it.